Today, we're talking about ads. And I'm not talking putting ads on your website to make money. Today, I am talking with a Facebook ad specialist on how to best utilize Facebook or really meta ads for your small business. Now, this is something I know very little about. I have messed with it just a little bit, pretty unsuccessfully, and she put me in the hot seat and gave me some great tips. But what I love about this interview with Facebook ad specialist Crystal Cherry is that she gets real. She shows us actual numbers, like how much you should actually spend on ads. None of that, oh, well, it depends on your business and what your goals are. She gives us tangible numbers of what we can expect to spend in order to get results. And it was really eye opening for me. And I am currently running an ad right now, testing all that data out. And I've had some pretty good luck with it so far. So I hope that you enjoy this interview as much as I do. And if you have enjoyed this interview series, let me know in the comments below. Hi, I'm here with
Yes.
Crystal Cherry, a Facebook and Instagram ad specialist, and I'm so excited to have you here to be picking your brain and learning from you. And I know that everybody over here in my community is excited to learn as well. So, welcome.
Thank you so much. I am so excited to be here and talk about Facebook and Instagram ads.
Excellent. So, do you want to start out by just giving us a little of your backstory, how you got here, how you got to be an ad specialist, and what really pulled you into that area?
Sure. So of course it was not a straight path. If you had asked me 5 years ago, I did not know that I was going to become an ad strategist. My background is in technical communications, and I started actually as a freelance web designer and developer. And from there, I started working with my clients who are primarily coaches on their back end systems and funnels. And then kind of took a pause because I knew that wasn't what I wanted to focus on. But then the opportunity to learn Facebook ads was presented to me. And I love the complexity of it all because it feeds the three different parts of my brain. It's a little analytical, a little creative. And then there is that strategic component as well. And there's always something to learn, which I like to do. So I really just dove in from there and learned everything that I could. And I think what the real thing that that I love the most about it is how it really brings everything together. So I found with my clients then and even my clients now, I love how it really just it people underestimate how much the other parts of your marketing and what you have in place really impact your ad campaigns. So I love that it kind of gives you that more holistic viewpoint, and you can really bring all those other things that are working so well and just boost them to get in front of the right people to increase your results.
Excellent, excellent. So now let me ask you this. So I've done
Mhm.
some experimentation with ads. I started with Instagram boosted post. So I guess my
Ah,
first question for you is there a difference between an ad and a boosted post?
okay, great question. So boosting is like it technically is an ad because you're paying for exposure. So by boosting, you're doing that. However, I always advise if you're going to be spending any type of money with Meta, just do it through Ad Manager in your browser for a few different reasons. One, you're going to have better control of your targeting, your audiences, and the campaigns that you're running because a lot of people boost posts and they don't quite understand what they should be boosting for. So they get results, but it's like, is it really the result that you wanted? And two, for some people, especially if you're using an Apple device, they've added a surcharge. So people are boosting from their phone and then wondering, oh my gosh, why am I having to pay for ads and this additional fee? So I always say just go through Ad Manager. You're going to have more control so you can actually get the results that you want versus, the likes, engagements, which is really what boosting is more so geared towards, like just getting you. They're like, you pay us, we're gonna put you out in front of people, and you're gonna get, those link clicks and stuff, but that doesn't necessarily mean you're gonna get, subscribers and buyers, the people that you really want.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, that totally makes sense to me because I remember when I first started experimenting with boosted post, it was a little over a year ago. In Instagram, I did some A/B testing and I basically had
Mm-hmm.
the exact same caption, and one was a picture of me, and the other one was a graphic carousel post. And sure enough, people had told me the pictures do better, the pictures do better. And sure enough, that picture got tons of views and tons of interactions. But they were more interactions like, hey, baby, looking good, which, that's great for the ego. That is not so great for
Right.
my bottom line. And the graphic
Exactly.
carousel performed better amongst my audience. So when you were talking about going into meta, which I know is something that
Mm-hmm.
I've been experimenting with a little bit now, when you go into meta, you talk about the targeting.
Right.
Oh my gosh, the targeting. It is so overwhelming. All the different categories you should target. So if somebody were out here, maybe they don't have the budget to hire you yet and they need to do some of it on
Mm-hmm.
their own. Are there specific areas that you should really focus on in targeting over others?
So I would say this first. The first thing you should do is, without a doubt, really know your audience. So you want to know what they're interested in. This includes where they're shopping, if you have industry specific publications, anything geared to who you're targeting. Really, really get down to the nitty gritty and learn about them. And then from there, you can go through and search the interests to find, people who may be interested in. Well, give me an example. So, when you were, because you said the one for your audience. So I know about your audience some, but if you don't mind just, role playing with me a bit, do you recall which audience targeting that you used or what you kind of started with when you were searching?
I do because I actually ran this ad last week.
Oh,
So
nice.
I targeted women
Hmm.
ages 25 to 55 that oh gosh, I'm trying to remember. I know I selected an income level, I think, and I think it was kind of in the
Hmm.
middle. It wasn't the lowest, but it wasn't the highest. And that I knew that I was looking for someone because this is for my SEO membership. So I knew
Hmm.
that I was looking someone. So I targeted a bachelor's degree, a master's degree, a doctorate, or a professional degree.
Okay. And with that, did you do anything else, or you started those for the I guess the demographics and parameters that you set with? I
I
know this is
think
on the fly.
No, I honestly don't remember. I think that was right around there.
Okay.
I may have gone into the jobs that they did.
Hmm.
I think I did target some of those as well. Like I know one
Okay.
of them was businesses like with 1 to 10 employees, that sort of thing.
Okay. All right. So that is a good start. Because you did cert, you know that you want to target, I believe you said women, and you set the age range. You can also do it by location. So I don't know if you concentrated on the United States,
Hmm.
but you can do that as well. So you can do that, and even for some people, go down to a zip code or go to other countries as well. Then from there, you can do income levels. You can do it by education if that matters to you. For you, with it being SEO, if these are businesses that may have a team, you may also want to see about looking at software, like what software would they already be using? And you kind of have to search to see if the interest is there for you to target. Specific website platforms, you can search for those as well. So there's a lot of different ways you could go. But the reason I mention that is sometimes it's easy to just start and kind of you're like, well, okay, I do want women in this age range, in this location, with this income and this degree. But you can, like I said, think about what it is that they're using, what are they consuming, related to what you do in your offer, and then look for that as well. The other thing you can do is leverage what you already have. So if you have an email list, that is, those are your ideal people. You want to find more people like that you can create an audience based off of your email list. These are called lookalike audiences. So email your social media followers and engagers. You can use that for a lookalike audience as well. People that have interacted with your videos and content if you've set those audiences up. So that is a great way to do it. If, okay, maybe you're not confident in going in and searching for the interest, but you're like, okay, I have a really good engaged, social media presence. And when people interact with me, these are my followers, they're my buyers. You have to set up an audience in advance. But again, we're creating basically a lookalike, which is saying, hey, Meta, go out and find more people like these people and show them my ad. So that is something that you could consider as well. And then third is your warm audience, which would be your actual email list, which you can add as an audience into Ad Manager, and then your social media followers and engagers. And then you can set up audiences based off videos as well. So I would
Wow.
say, depending on your budget, yeah, don't try to do them all. Figure out your budget, maybe, start with one or two, run the ads and see what your results are and go from there.
Wow, that is, I had no idea you could do all of that. So that is so excited to learn. It's so exciting for me to learn. And I'm sure the people watching this are going to be really excited to learn about that too. Okay, so you mentioned budget, which brings me to my next
Mhm.
question. What is a reasonable budget that a small creator or a small business owner should expect to spend on ads?
That So when I work with my clients, we always start with the end in mind. So we start with the goal. So what is the goal? And the reason I ask that is because, so you said, again, I'm going to use you just because you mentioned you were running ads for your course. So we're going to use this as for all the examples. So when you were running ads for your course, what were you looking to do to get actual course sales? Was this interest and you were getting leads? What was your goal?
This ad was to get people to a freebie. And
Hmm.
I am looking at potentially running another one to get them to a free training that would then funnel
Okay.
them into the course.
Mm, Nice. Okay, perfect. So I love that you broke that down because the thing with the goal is I always say the bigger the ask, more than likely, the more it's going to cost. So if you had said I was running ads to get people directly into that course, you would probably want to start with a bigger budget than if you're trying to get people just to sign up for your freebie and show that interest. And then if you were also running ads where, maybe you had a video that you were trying to warm up your audience, you could do that for a lower ask than, even the freebie. So that's why I always say start with the goal in mind. So then and then reverse engineer your numbers from there. So if you don't know for sure, I say just write it out. Just kind of like, okay, like how many, how much, what result do you need in order to make it work for you? So if you said, okay, I want to make sure that I'm getting 100 leads per month, and we could kind of, maybe a lead cost you about $3 a lead. We'll say, from there, just to throw out a ballpark number. Then from there, once you kind of know what your cost per lead is, and you can kind of reverse engineer and be like, okay, well, if I want to get 100 leads, I know my budget needs to be this much per month versus, just kind of sporadically throwing it out. But I would say, just to kind of bring it back to your original example with the lead generation, ideally, if you can do $10 to $20 a day for lead gen, that will be great. But again, I say so much of it depends so much on your specific business, what your goal is. So I generally don't like to give a standard you should spend this much amount because it really depends on the business, their actual budget and what the goal is.
Gotcha. No, that makes total sense. I'm all about transparency over here. So I know that I had mine set, just doing math in my head, it was about $8 a day.
Do you remember what your cost per lead
I don't
was?
have any idea. And it tells me that in
Okay.
Oh goodness.
It
Hold on, I have it
should.
up. Let's pull it up here. Let's just take a look. So that is in the
Yes.
ad center. Hold on, I'm going to share my screen. We're going to make this
Okay.
totally transparent, and I'm going to like share with everybody what I did with my one experimental thing on Facebook ads. So this is what I see.
Okay. So it looks like, okay, so your goal, so if you see here, over on the right under details, your goal was to get more engagement. So that
Yes.
is why it is telling you your cost per engagement. If you, so ideally, actually before, so the ad itself, it looks like it's an image.
Yes.
Okay. And and the goal was for them to click the link and then go ahead and sign up.
You click the link and get the free. Yes.
Okay. So so if you had come to me now after the fact and said, I ran this ad, how do I figure out how many leads I got? The first thing I would recommend is instead of going for engagement, since your goal was for them to go over to that landing page, you would run a conversion ad optimized for leads. And the reason for that is because that lets Meta know that they're going to show it to people who are more likely to take that action to become a lead. Whereas in this case, they showed it to people more likely to engage with the ad. So you got
Gotcha.
313. So yeah, I would
So
be
I'm looking
curious
here. My
to,
cost per lead was $50 because I got one link click.
yeah, you got one link click. And hopefully they did go in and sign up. So yes.
Gotcha. No, that makes total sense. And I think this is what for me has prevented me from going into Facebook ads in the past. And I know
Mhm.
I'm in a mastermind group with some other women in business, and almost everybody is like, oh no, Facebook ads are just confusing. But one woman in there, she has a very, very niche offering. She teaches fiddle lessons to adults. And she has
Nice.
mastered Facebook ads for this one, and she gets hundreds and hundreds of leads with every ad campaign she runs.
That's beautiful. I would the nerdy part of me is like, I would love to see the back end of those campaigns, but that's awesome.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of it. So it's something that
Yeah.
I know I definitely want to get into, and I know a lot of my audience is into it as well because a lot of them have digital products, they have digital courses, and this is
Hmm.
something. And honestly, I got into it because I saw Amy Porterfield doing a bunch of ads leading to her product. I was like, okay, I'm gonna try this. So I'm excited to try it again now after what you
Yes.
said. So you answered the question about budget, like aim to start at like $10 to $20 a day.
Yes, especially if you were like, so in your case, if with you running gas to get people to sign up for your lead magnet, I would definitely shoot for 10 to 20 a day. Because even if you like run it for the first couple of weeks, so you can figure out what your cost per lead is if you've never done it before. And then from there, if you want to go back and then kind of fine tune your numbers, right? All right, again, going back to, well, what's my goal? My cost per lead is this, then you can figure out what your bigger ongoing budget will be.
I love that. I love that idea. That's fabulous. So, are there any other Facebook ads or Instagram ads? I think Meta is just all one now, right?
Yes, you'll hear me refer to Facebook ads, but it is Facebook and Instagram because they are both under the Meta umbrella.
Gotcha. So, are there any other tips if you could tell someone just one or two quick things? Are there any other
Mhm.
tips you have for people out there interested in ads?
Yeah, so one thing I would say, and you kind of just spoke to it, is just keep in mind that ads are a long-term game if you decide to play it. I think, like you said, the one person, your mastermind, they figured it out and they're reaping the benefits, but she didn't get there overnight. And that is one thing that people, ideally, like back in the glory days, you could pay a couple bucks and then, make a bunch of money. So people get used to that quick overnight success. And it's as definitely accelerate things, but give yourself, some time to test your copy, test your images. Like you said, you tested the image versus the carousel. Like you have some good foundational things going on. So I'm excited to see what you would do at that next level. But just be willing to test and pay attention to what is working and tweak. And then the other thing too, like I said before, in regards to your budget, think about the level of ask. And also use ads to amplify what is working for you. So, this is your first time ever launching a course or product, or if you're in the state where you're like, I need to make sales from this, like to get my recoup my investment immediately, it may not be the best time for ads because one, if this is your first time launching the offer and you're not even sure that it's what your audience wants, then you're going to be figuring out the ads and you're going to be figuring out whether or not your offer converts. At least if you know your offer or your funnel, even if it's the lead magnet, if you're like people are signing up for this organically, okay, then go ahead and put some money behind it. If you still want to do it because you don't know, which is something you can do, just treat it as a test. So then that way, again, you kind of go into it and treat it like, okay, what happens if I do this or this? These are my results. Let me go through and see what happens if I do this and this until you figure out that combination that works. And
Yes.
always test. Like there are industry like secrets. Like some people will say video is better. You just said someone that told you a static image is better. Test it because at the end of the day, the video that's going to beat out the image is going to be the one that has good messaging. A video that doesn't have messaging that doesn't resonate or an image that doesn't land there, either there's too many barriers involved to isolate it to just, this or this works better. You really just have to test it yourself to find out.
And see what resonates best with your particular audience.
Yes, exactly.
Gotcha. Gotcha. That makes total sense because me being a total newbie trying to
Mhm,
experiment with it, I went on to Facebook and found ads and clicked over to the page. And because they have that transparency now where you can click and see
mhm.
all the ads they're running. And I'm like, oh, what is this person doing? Oh, what is this person doing? But you're right. It's about resonating with your own particular audience. And my audience may not be
Yes.
the same as theirs.
Right, but that is something you can do if you like just want to like get the creative juices going. I check out when I'm working with my clients, I will go in and look at the ad library and look at the ads that are running. But like I said, more so it's just to get creative juices flowing because you still need to test to see what works for yourself. Two, you don't know if they're testing, you don't know if they're running an ad that is, working well from them. You don't know. So don't assume just because you see somebody else doing it is that's what you should be doing. But the ad library is a great resource.
Awesome, awesome. So let's see, you have a freebie for us, correct?
Yes,
Do you
I
want to tell us about
do.
it?
Yeah, so I found that building your email list is a great way to get started with that, especially if you have some type of nurture funnel or you're, actively emailing your email list. So it's a great way to continue to build your list so that when you have launches and you're promoting your offers, you always have a warm audience to promote to. So the freebie is the 5 must-haves to consistently grow your email list with Facebook ads. And some of the things we talked about, I go into, and that I do talk a little bit more about the budget and having your landing pages and funnels set up. But it's basically if you can get those things set up to build your email list, You can also use those 5 things for your other campaigns as well. It's pretty universal, but email list is a great place to start.
Excellent. So I will make sure to link that in the description below. And if they want to get in touch with you, what's the best way to find you?
Yes, I am on Facebook and Instagram at Crystal Cherry Digital, and my website is crystalcherrydigital.com. And feel free to DM me on Instagram. I do respond. You can do Facebook as well, but Instagram, I usually get back to you a little more quickly.
I can attest to that. She does because I cold DM'd her about this interview and she was so gracious to be here. So it's been fun chatting with
You
you. And
did.
I am so excited for this to come out for everybody to be able to learn.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Tanya. This has been